Yo, 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 your boy. Damn. Well, so much for that. You already know what it is. Your boy Professor Pippage back in this bit trying to get active on iTrade Asian. Been a little minute since I got on here, dropped a little video, but try to get active, try to get active. I sound real low. Turn me up some. But it's been an okay week. A little back and forth action, back and forth action, back and forth action. Weekly open had these buys from right down here, targeting this 1 hour resistance right down here. This is AUDUSD on the 15 minutes. I did not make a weekend analysis. I have been analyzing the charts, have been getting active, but just not been so much on the videos lately. A lot of the video footage, that I put out, I try to put out because I know, or I think I know, I have a good idea, a good indication of where the market's going. And sometimes when the market get a little tricky on me, when I don't have clear cut direction of where the market's trending to or waving to, I tend to not make videos. So, yeah. But had a couple people reach out, say they want to get active tonight. So let's hop on in. Let's do it. Let's do it, But yeah, so what happened right here? They caught USD in the New York session before the London close. Somewhere like right up in here. But yeah, so far like I was saying at the beginning, weekly open had these buys right down here, closed off as we came into this candle right up in here. As you can see, price action continued, pushed all the way up, came back and retraced. Did have some shorts last night during the Asian session, thinking we were going to continue back to retest these lows right here. Took off some profits. Runner got smacked as price action pushed back into the highs, grabbing this liquidity. What I saw was I felt like this move right here was coming, but since we rolled over and started back pushing to the downside, I thought this was going to be that move, and then that liquidity is just going to be left for later. But as I slumbered and made it through the London session, onto the New York session, I saw price action push up into that candle, especially down to 15-minute. We got up above there. I had the liquidity area right above these zones, right up in here, all these areas where everybody's stop losses at. See price action get up there. I was kind of worried in the beginning, simply because generally I like to see a swift push up and a swift come right back down. So when we came up, price action started doing all this little choppy here. I was like, oh my gosh, we could go back less, but it didn't. And it came on down, coming down to that favor, that FIFA. You actually can see we pushed up, gave it a high, came back and responded. Try to retest that high, failed. The break came down. Didn't necessarily break this low here, pull back one more again, and then it was on from there. I originally had some short scalp targets. I had like 4 positions open on this. So, like I said, the original scalp targets, I think some profits came off here, some profits came off here, and then this is the runner from this morning. I had 4 positions on the same trade. So, um, yeah. Let me see. Come on, man. Okay. But yeah. Overall, just really been only looking at AUDUSD. I was spotting USD CAD a little bit, but I saw it had some news, so I kind of quick swiped it up with an analysis, but it's just overall consolidate right now. Kind of downtrending for the most part of the hourly. You got the high, the low, the lower high, lower low. Still potentially still waiting to look for that next lower high before price action puts down. I don't think this is going to be the area where price action considers the lower high. I think price action potentially could pull back up, grab liquidity right above here, then leak to the downside. Kind of had this trade idea right here. Since higher time frames are bullish, big bullish, we can see if price action come back into this level right here and then scoop back up to continue to make higher highs and higher lows. Let me get. Cover that thing on no. But yeah, Telegram finally came up. And show some of the I can show some of the entries, like the befores and the afters. Let's do it. Barbecue chicken. Barbecue chicken. I don't know if I dropped the buys in here when I first got in on Sunday. Or did I? Yeah, right here. It was Sunday night, little Asian range, identify a little lower time frame demand area. Saw pressure coming to that area, failed to break. Lows looking left. Started impact. I was watching from the 5 and the 1, so kind of late entry on it because overall higher time frames are bearish, so you count a trend. So had to see a little bit more confidence. I was watching on the 5 and the 15, but overall targeting right like that big ass 1 hour candle I was saying beforehand. That's what I was targeting. And I don't know if we got the results on here, but right up in here, price action got up into this level and started stalling, took off profits right there. And then at the end of the week, from what we already seen, that shit took off. But once we got back to the top side, I started taking some shots in that thing. Let me see. So that would have been Sunday. This would have been here. So yeah, some shorts coming back down this way. Would have been right up in here. Saw a little bit of pippage off of that, TPs, all of them smacked, as you can see, came all the way down right into this area right here. What the I think this last position right here, this last target was right down here. All TPs smacked, but then I took some more shorts from right here. These were Monday or Tuesday night shorts, and then I took it shorts from right here last night, thinking we were going to continue, and trailing stops got smacked. And like I said, the see. I think these are, yeah. So here are the shorts from last night. Like I said, I had that liquidity area up there identified, and I saw price action roll over on the hourly. I'm like, okay, well, we could just come on down. And so as we continue to come on down, trail the stops, they got smacked, and price action came up and hit that liquidity this morning. So, a little more profit there, somebody else's. Um, and then this was the original entries, a few positions stacked right up here from the entry from this morning. The original targets were there, and then it has some other targets right down here. That ain't mine. And then yeah, so this is the runner that's left running right now. Stu with a pitch like 60 of them things up. Yeah. So tonight we're looking to see if we can catch some continuation to the downside, or if we can get some type of retracement back into where price action just came from. Right now we got this little consolidation zone on the 15 minute to 1 fiber. As we look at this from a broader perspective, I definitely closed off a lot of profits as we came into this little support area right here. Simply because as you look at this from a 1 hour time frame perspective, I guess you can say, go ahead and blank that thing on out. When you look at this from a lower time frame perspective, as price action from the 4 hour from this 4 hour resistance right up, it came down and created the low. We pushed up, didn't necessarily break these highs right over here, but we came down and failed to break these lows. So overall, lower time frame is, still somewhat bullish, counter trend bullish. The high low hasn't necessarily, yeah, well, yeah, with the liquidity grab right here, we did break the high. So high low, not necessarily counting this one, but I guess you can say high with the low, the high, higher low, higher high. So potentially it could continue to go bullish from here, but overall higher time frames are bearish. So that's why I'm looking for the shots. For the shots to see if this liquidity grab gonna be what I need to, come on, kick on down and give me a new. Um, at that point, if we did break these lows right over here, this would be my 4 hour level. But we can't see, even more liquidity building above those highs. But this would then turn to be my new 4 hour resistance that came down and broke structure looking left for a new lower high to create a new lower low. Yeah, overall. Yeah, so rejecting this support right now in the 15, so definitely expecting to retest, the kind of 15-minute high consolidation area on a zoomed in perspective. So got about 4 minutes for that 8 o'clock candle open up. Price action like to get real funky, that 8 o'clock candle. Here lately, just watching the charts, I have been noticing that 8 o'clock candle kind of been losing its steam, and price action been going more retarded later in the session. Right here, it was the 8:30 open of the 8:30 candle. We see the big momentum kick in. But as we go back into, okay, so this would have been the Asian Open. 8 o'clock would have been right here. Not a whole lot of volume right here. It came a little bit later within the session, closer to the, this is actually pre-London right here. So closer to the London Open, that volume started to kick in. But I've been noticing it to, pick up a lot more. This is the Asian, well, what was that? Tuesday, Monday Asian Open, 8 o'clock candle right here. Not a whole bunch of volume. A little bit later in the session, some bearish volume picked up. And then as we got into pre-London, we picked even more volume within the market. So this 8 o'clock candle might not be, what it was in the third quarter, second quarter, first quarter of the year. Like 8 o'clock, price action got, where the volume was coming in, where it was going. Not necessarily where it was coming in, where it was going, but it gave you more of an insight on which way price action potentially was going to fake out first and then, switch it up. So if I'm looking for the shorts, potentially with this momentum kicking in at 8 o'clock, I'm looking for price action to pull back overall because lower time frame structure, high, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. We broke structure right here. So ultimately expecting a pullback. I just don't know how high it's going to come back. Is it just going to come back to retest this level here and then drop again, or is it going to come all the way back up to the supply zone that broke structure? Looking left. So hold on real quick. Say what? Somebody's at the door? No, I don't want you to either. Be right back. All right. Well, yeah. So you see, the 8 o'clock candle that open. Now we're gonna see what type of reaction we get. Those price action come down here and wick below and fail to continue to go bearish. Does it pull back more, or does it just continue to make lower lows and lower highs below this little support right here on the 15-minute? If we think, or if price action does resume and go back bullish, we kind of got a little demand zone right down here, a little imbalance field from the higher time frames. So I would love to see how price action comes down here. If it just continues, then I'm kind of already in the trade. Well, not kind of, but actually already in the trade. So I don't necessarily have to take a trade tonight. But if it sets up appropriately, your boy will get active, and I will get active. Miss Kimmy, what's going on with you?
Nothing much. Trying to get back in the hang of things with trading.
Word. You have
I've
questions about something?
completely, yeah. So I'm having issues reading market structure, like when to buy, when to sell, like what's really still a downtrend, even though price is going up.
Right. What are you looking?
So,
What are you trying to What are you trying to which pair or what chart are you looking at when you're trying to identify the uptrend or the downtrend?
so GU definitely. I was getting confused today with that. I wasn't sure whether we were in an uptrend or a downtrend.
All right. So how high of a time frame do you go out to?
So I used the 4 hour,
You
and
start
I
you
wouldn't.
start you start analyzing on the 4 hour.
Yeah, I analyze
Okay.
on the 4 hour and then I use my entry on the 15.
All right. Let me zoom out just a little bit more so I can see. Because generally I start off on the weekly, depending on what time of the month it is. But generally I start off on the weekly, so I just want to look at these levels right out here before I tell you some faulty information. So, all right. So if you start off on the 4 hour time frame, price action right here, current price action is the the structure is bearish, but the lower time frame trend is bullish, if that makes sense. So as price action, you come from way back here, you got the high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, potentially new lower high, reading from a 4 hour high to a 4 hour low perspective. This potentially could be a new lower high, but it hasn't created that new lower low just yet. So on your lower time frame, you're counter trend bullish. So 1 hour, 4 hour, 15-minute, 30-minute, high, low, higher, high, higher, low. This could potentially still push bullish and come all the way back into this support right up in here. Your higher time frame trend is still bearish, but your lower time frame trend, everything is pushing up right now. So currently on the 1 hour, it's trending to the downside, but you're still within that lower time frame overall bullish scenario type deal. More of a retracement from this high to this low. So when you're talking about identifying structure, you got to be able to pinpoint whatever pair, indice, chart, whatever analysis you're looking at. You got to hold consistent on the way you mark your structures of how price action is breaking through, breaking through the levels. Let's go back to the 4 hour. So if I'm identifying this area to be my high, I need to know where price action breaks the low looking left. So I can pick any random spot on this chart. I just know I need to hold true as when I say this is the high, this is the low, lower high, price action broke this low right here. So that could potentially you could identify. But for me, I would take from here to here, from here all the way down here, just because I still see the high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low format all within that. So um, when you just so the easiest way is definitely to stick to which area you're identifying as breaking through structure. So for me, my 4 hour lower high, the most recent lower high is this area right here. This area started this move to push all this price action all the way down here. And then here is the structure it most recently broke. So my range is from this high to this low. Anything that pulls back into this area or comes back, retraces, is considered just a pullback of this whole range right here. Yeah, it's taking a lot of time. Yeah, it's taking up a lot of space, but that's just what it is. So when you're still lower time frame counter trend bullish, you have price action to push all the way, has the point to push all the way back up here before you truly start talking about a trend reversal. So once you close above this point for me, So you'd have to break above that right there and then pull back and maintain demand right down here, and then continue again for me to say, okay, now GU is higher time frame pushing bullish. But all this right here, pretty much for me, would be identified as retracement of this high to this low. So if I jump back over to AUD CAD, I mean, not AUD CAD, but AUD USD, same thing I'm doing right here. This 4-hour resistance pushed down and gave me this 4-hour support. As price action pulled back, I know this 4-hour resistance that I got identified here now broke through structure looking left to give me this 4-hour support. So as price action pulls back, I know price action can continue lower time frame counter trend bullish all the way back up into here where there's imbalance field. This is the supply. This is untested supply way up here that pushed you all the way down to the lows. So I know that range, price action eventually is going to fill all this. I just don't know when. I don't know how. I just got to be able to trade what I'm seeing. So from this 4-hour resistance down to this 4-hour support, price action is creating a resistance right up in here, this white line or this white boxed off area. So I consider this lower time frame 1-hour resistance. So if price action pushes into there, there's a high probability that it could react bearishly or it could break through. What we had happen today was for the people who are watching this and seeing, okay, price action is bearish on the higher time frame. So I want to look for the best selling opportunity. As price action pulls back to a resistance level in the market, it sells off. So people are getting into the market trying to sell it from here. Pulls back to that same exact area looking left again, and it sells off. So at the same time, it's selling right here. People are putting their stop losses above this level. Stop losses above this level. If you sold off from here, your stop loss more than likely was above this level. So as price action came and grabbed that liquidity today and closed as a rejection candle here, I knew that I had a high probability of potentially continuing to catch these shorts because we just stopped all these people out, and price action is now trying to continue its bearish format of breaking through those structures, the lower highs and the lower lows. So it's kind of a lot, but it's more or less on what your eyes are seeing when you look at the chart. So, just blinking all that. Go back to the daily, zoom it out a little bit. It's just all about how price action breaks through these levels, lower highs and lower lows, come all the way down here. So, yeah, and I just continue to do that from the. I usually use the weekly, but then yeah, weekly, daily, 4-hour, just because I know there are certain times throughout the day where I won't be able to sit in front of the chart. So I need to have my 4-hour levels and higher time frame levels to know like when to get in for like a swing type setup, kind of like I'm in kind of tonight. And then how long to potentially hold it for where price action is filling that range. So the reason I was saying earlier that price action still has the potential to push bullish because like I said, lower time frame we're still creating higher lows and high highs. What's up, buddy? Hold on 1 second. But yeah. Does any of that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. It didn't even, I did not see the chart like that at all.
Yeah. It's taking me a little minute to be able to see it like that as well. So something like this week, last week, where I ain't been really putting out no videos, is mostly because I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Because once price action gets down to this point right here and starts this consolidation motion, we could break and fill this gap now, or we can just leak from here and fill that gap later. So that's why I had the positions identified here. So if we flip back over to GU, and I was to do it from from the weekly on down, just deleting all that. Looking to see, okay, well, just from the past, high, low, lower, high, coming all the way down, we big bearish. Generally would normally look to the left and try to find a level that price action potentially could be reacting from, but all the way back here, we looking at 1985, and I just ain't really relying on that. So what I would do is just mark up right here what's in front of me. So based off the weekly, I got a resistance right here. Price action push bullish. What? Give it here. No, give it here. I don't have time to tell you because you're gonna take forever and be pushing all types of numbers. Okay, here you go, bro. Good job. Let me see. So, yeah, we're gonna daily first. Okay, yeah, we can just see a little bit better here. So, daily resistance. 4 hour, we tighten it like this. So I know from my daily time frame, as we were making lower lows and lower highs, this was the lower high that pushed me into the lows down here. When I come to the 4 hour, so ultimately, we generally would just have to accept this as the 4 hourly high. I would say, yeah, this would be the range that price action is stuck within now on a 4 hour time frame. So as we're making higher highs and higher lows back over here, this high pushed the market all the way down and create this low. So potentially, if price action is resuming back to higher time frame trend and say we're going to go bearish from here, I would need to see price action break this low. Otherwise, we're still within this retracement phase of pushing and making higher highs and higher lows on the lower time frames. So our resistance would be something like this, 4 hour support. So as I'm looking at it from the 4 hour time frame, just marking it based off structure, not really adding too much of supply and demand or anything else. We were coming down on 4 hour chart, we're making higher highs and high lows. This price action here, more of a retracement, came down and broke structure looking left. So then we started retracing back up in here. On the hourly, I would look for a level to where I think price action potentially, or where we just from the hourly time frame, we're making an uptrend here. So I would like to identify the support level is here that pushed us up and created the resistance right up here. But some of the times when you try to identify so many levels, it starts to get confusing. You just have to kind of understand what your range is. So gray background is the daily, the black background is the 4 hourly. Come down to the hourly and just kind of see what price action looks like. I know potentially should be looking for the shorts. Right here, we're uptrending. Right here, we're counting. This was the last higher low that pushed you into the high. So I will have to wait to see how price action closed below here if I thought we were definitely going to continue to resume back bearish. Otherwise, I would have to wait for price action to push all the way back into supply that pushed us into the lows here. Does that make any sense? So in the hourly, I'm looking to see what price action does from here. Do it like that. So the higher time frame was making lower lows and lower highs. We're looking for price action to continue to make lower lows and lower highs. We just got to wait for the lower time frame to line up with it. Right now, lower time frames are bullish. Higher highs and higher lows. This was the previous higher low. The price action could come grab liquidity here and then push up something like that, and then come back down and continue the higher time frame trend. So sitting somewhat of a tricky spot right now, especially if you are struggling to identify structure. And then when you, depending on the different concepts you know of how to trade or the different strategies or ideas you know how to run, kind of those things kind of come in on the back end as far as helping you potentially try to, find a trade setup. So because higher time frames are bearish, because we broke structure here, what I mean is because I know how to, identify a fib setup, I could, put something like this on the chart from this high to this low, looking for price action to pull back to, like premium pricing right up here, and potentially been looking for shorts from this area, simply because we could have been switching back into that bearish time frame structure. So shorts would have been from somewhere like up in here, expecting price action to continue to come down and make lower lows and lower highs. If it doesn't, and it does push back bullish, then, we will need to see a close above this point, and then see the higher highs and higher lows to go back that way. So, there's several different ways you can look at it, but like I said, from the way you look at things from the 4-hour chart, I'm trying to see. I guess the easiest way would be just, I guess, you would have to just focus in on what current price action is doing. That makes any sense. So if I came to the chart and it looked like this, if I'm just only going to identify from the 4-hour, I'll look and see, okay, what has most recently happened. We were high, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. We came down and broke structure. So if we're going to continue to go bullish from the lower time frame, I would have to wait to see if price action closes above here. If we're going to resume and continue to go bearish, then I would long term have to see a close below this 4-hour support. But then once you start learning how to scalp or being able to take advantage of those lower time frame trends, then you can kind of go in and scalp the market and not have to wait for these big zones to get execute to kind of identify your trade setup or see if you can execute from those levels. Like me, I would be waiting to see what happened right here and then try to sell back into the support versus waiting for price action to close. I would wait to see how price action closed below here, if it did, and then try to catch a continuation into the support. And then if it continues to go, then it continues to go versus waiting for price action to close below here and then taking these shorts. So I would like to try to find an entry from up here, taking advantage of lower time frame structure and trend. It's rough though. Sometimes you just it don't make sense, and sometimes you just have to sit back and just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna just watch. I'm gonna draw up some zone. I'm gonna draw up some zones, and I'm gonna see what price action does when it gets to those zones. If it blow right through it, then I don't need to worry about it. If it kind of respects it or do something you never seen, turns around, reverses continuations, you kind of jot that down in your journal, and that's why I try to post as many pictures as I can in the Telegram, because I kind of use this as my journal. That's why I drop so many different ways you can see the chart zoomed in, zoomed out, with the candles and without the candles. Because when I go back and review, I look at these screenshots right over here, then come back to the chart and see, okay, well, I lost this trade. So like this morning, what was I at? This New York session. What happened? I took some other shorts somewhere during the New York session this morning and got cooked. Let's see where it was at. I want to say it was these. Probably it had to been. Price action pushed higher. I don't know. Either way, yeah, I took some shorts right up in here and got cooked, but I ultimately knew I had that higher time frame level back in over looking left that I wanted to execute from as well. So I didn't put as much risk in here or whatever. It don't look the same as it did earlier, but I didn't use as much risk here as I did backing up in here. So I made up the loss from here with this trade and then plus off. So whatever it continues to do. I think I got trailing stocks. Somewhere like right up here. What was that? 63 even. Something like that. So that's what my open position is right now. UCAD. Higher time frame, very bullish. Lower time frame is kind of downtrending. So definitely we'll be looking to see. I probably need to reanalyze this because this looks funky. But definitely we'll be looking to see if let's see, high, low, high, low, high. I'm looking to see how price action reacts from this level to see if it's going to continue to go bullish. So potentially, if we don't start breaking these highs back up into here, we continue to play off this higher or lower time frame downtrend back into demand right up in here. It's not accurate, but we'll definitely look for see. Yeah, this level or this level. One of these two levels I would look to enter in to see if we can continue with the higher time frame bullishness. GJ, super bullish. Mr. Hourly. So as price action is making these higher highs and higher lows, we kind of create a little downtrend, but we don't really break the structure. The last higher low that pushes into the high, so we just retrace here. So we've kind of already shifted the structure back on the hourly time frame. So right now, I want to see how this little demand zone right here on lower time frame holds up. If it does not hold up, I would be expecting price action to come all the way back down to somewhere right up in this zone here before resuming back bullish. So if I want to trade GJ, the plan would be to wait tonight until we get right up in here. We'll put a little price point for all the people in the back. Somewhere up in here. If you go down to the lower time frames, probably pinpoint a little bit better, but I'm just going to draw it like this. So I want to see what price action does in this area first. And then if it breaks through that area, we'll be looking right down here to see if there's another possibility for price action to resume back bullish in that area. Let's see, UJ. Oh, I had this buy limit right down here. Gone. Gone. This was the first area I was looking to target, looking left. Gone. And I don't like UJ. UJ does not retrace appropriately. UJ retraces when nobody's in the market. Nobody's watching the charts. You missed the whole retracement. But, if you're looking for the retracement, you see it happening, you can just get back in line with the trend. But after this big ass push, I needed to pull back a little bit so I knew how to get active to go back long. It don't really do that immediately. It do some funky shit like this right here and then automatically just drop one day when ain't nobody paying attention and just take back off. So we're just kind of looking at and trying to identify the structure. You can see we identify if we can't do that. But yeah, ultimately if we start down here, high, low, higher low, higher high, you would have to identify this area as a higher low because this is the last bullish impulse before we pushed up and created this higher high. So I would need to see what the way that I want to trade and get into the markets. I want to see price action retrace at least to a 50% from this swing low to this swing high way up here. At least to 50%. I like to see it pull back at least down to 50%. Let me get rid of this so you can see the background. Some of this out of the way. At least back down to 50%. Before feeling comfortable to take buys to see it make new higher highs and higher lows. So kind of like what I was saying earlier, this price push ups, pulls back. We identify the structure by how we break through the levels looking left. We pull back, higher low, new higher high, broke structure left. See if we can get that retracement. Just drawing the fibs on, it automatically lines up with the structure most recently broken. So it's a high influence area. But as you stay in the market a little bit longer, sometimes price action like to come back down to that 786 before we zoom back bullish. So it would be two potential outlooks. But UJ doesn't necessarily always pull back, like I said, immediately. Do take those plays. So yeah, I wouldn't hang on and wait for that too much longer. GU, just trading it by the way it looked. I would expect if it's going to resume back bullish, I want to see a liquidity graph from up under this level first and then go. If it's going to resume back, so something like this is what I'd be looking for a bullish setup. Liquidity graph push. If it's going to bearish, I want to see it come down, retest that area, and then break structures looking left. Potentially targets all the way back down here to see if it's going to continue to make lower lows and lower highs. But ultimately, definitely would take off some profits right at this area, especially depending on where you get in at, because it could do whatever it wants down here. It could immediately spike back up. It could keep leaking. You never know. So that's a good area to take some profit off at. I haven't looked at gold in a minute, but yeah, just played out, we're looking for, this was like 2 weeks ago. Wanted to see how price action reacted from this level once we broke through and we came back. The structure we most recently broke, that didn't hold up. The demand where price action came from that created this high didn't hold up. We consolidated and continue to make lower lows and lower highs. So price action ultimately is back in line with the trend of making lower lows and lower highs, especially once it breaks this 1 hour support. Then it's off to the races, back down to 4 hour support. Can't even see it. How about daily? Yeah. I don't really like messing with gold though. Because gold moves so fast. Like, yeah, for sure. We definitely wait for the next lower high. One tap. I mean, well, this didn't even grab liquidity. So yeah, some equal highs, liquidity build up right there. Bitcoin. I ain't look at this in a minute. Ugh. Anything else you had a question about before that thing cut off? I think we're gonna run out of time.
No, that's pretty much it. I
It's
mean, it
6
makes
minutes.
sense when you show it, but then when I'm looking at the chart, I'm like, oh,
All right. Well, the easiest way I can tell you, like whatever, mark it up how you normally mark it up, and then just send a copy of your chart in the group chat, so that way I can see what you actually said and then what you actually putting on the paper.
okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, whatever be GU gold GJ, whatever you looking at, I'll just look at it. Whatever chart you drop in there, it don't matter.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. This look like it went through each piece. So the way like I said before, the way I got better at identifying supports and resistance or structure was watching the time frames, losing a lot of trades, and paying attention to what happened at certain areas. So as I learned to identify those certain areas, it just started to build up to where uh, I was able to see it on multiple charts easily, just because I was doing or identifying the same areas every time. Pull it back. Oh, what time is it? 8:30. Let's see. My brain, that's up and get active. I would like to see price action reject this area first, and then try to short it back off into this area down here. But if it just blows right through, then yeah, pretty much a waiting game. So I can expand this. This is the range price action is stuck in right now. Which side is going to break? I don't know. What time is going to break? I don't know. Just got to sit and wait. It goes to the upside, probably would not take any scalp buys. Yeah, but if we break through this low support here on the 15 minute, ooh, yeah, we'll probably get active on that. Mm-hmm. See what happens. Hmm. Let's see here. What are you going to do there, buddy? Mhm. Yep. That's the boring part of trading. Sitting back watching. Hey, fall asleep. It's on damn trades. All right, Miss Kimmy. I think I'm gonna end it on that note. We almost down to about a minute left on the Zoom anyway, so I'm gonna
Okay.
hang out with my youngest real quick and get them to sleep. But I'll be in the group
Okay.
chat. I'll be up. I'll be up all night if you ever, pull up anything tonight.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll catch up with you.